Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time to brawl. It has been a long time since I talked about all the star powers in Brawl Stars. And today we are going to do just that. We're going to be going through every single brawler and we're going to talk about each star power, which one is better, which one is not so good, and ultimately which ones you should focus on getting as you're progressing through the game. I've got a lot of experience playing all of the brawlers in all of the modes, switching back and forth between multiple star powers, so I feel like I have a good understanding of which ones are the best for each brawler. And before we jump into that, I wanted to give a huge thank you to OnePlus for sponsoring this video slash channel. I don't know, this channel, I guess. I'm actually recording on the OnePlus 7T Pro 5G McLaren edition. This phone is like a gamer's paradise, right? The fluidity of 90 Hertz is absolutely insane, and it does increase the refresh rate in Brawl Stars, so you do actually get a competitive advantage when you're playing with a phone like this. Up until today, I've been using the OnePlus 7 Pro. It's really amazing for gaming, especially if you're looking for something that is like flagship worthy without the flagship price. But the 7T Pro 5G McLaren phone, I know it's a long name. It's just like an entire step up. Plus you do have that 5G network capability, which is just gonna increase your speeds. If you're curious about OnePlus, you can check out the link in the description below in all of my videos because they are a sponsor for this channel and I really do appreciate what they do to help support this channel. With that said, let's jump into every single brawler, starting off with Shelly and talk about which star power is better out of the two, okay? Band-Aid is really good, except it's really only good for like solo showdown. That's when the best opportunity, or duo showdown as well. Overall, Shell Shock is the star power for Shelly. It's just really good, slows people down, gives you that opportunity to chase them down, and also just like keep people pushed away if you need them to be. For Nita, it's a little bit of a tough call, and I originally would actually go with Bear With Me for the majority of situations, but if you're one that likes to push Nita in Heist, the Hyper Bear star power does a really good job at making her super easy to push. If you're looking for an overall star power though, I would go with Bear With Me. It's actually a really tough call with Colt. Slick Boots is really awesome. Magnum Special is really awesome. I think overall you're gonna get more value with Magnum Special. However, there are some maps that aren't so wide open where Slick Boots would be the one of choice. If you had to pick one, Magnum Special. Bull's kind of a tough one as well. Berserker and Tough Guy both provide a lot of value. They both happen at that 40% health mark. It's going to depend on the mode that you're going to play. Like, so you might want to play Berserker sometimes, but I think that Tough Guy overall is the better star power. For Jessie, it's going to depend on how high you are in trophies. If you're really high, you're playing against competitive players, then Energize is going to be the star power for you. However, Shocky is really good at taking advantage of people who do not know how to play around Jessie's turret. If you find that that is the situation that you're facing most of the time, Shocky will help you climb trophies better. But overall, Energize is more competitive, so that's one I'm going with. I currently have Rocket number 4 selected for Brock, but actually Incendiary provides more value most of the time. 600 damage per second for 2 seconds is huge, plus allows you to check bush and keep people pushed back. The only reason why I would go with Rocket number 4 is if you play him in Showdown a lot, which that's not even his best mode, so definitely Incendiary. For Dynamite, the vast majority of players should be going with Demolition. There are a few people that are really excellent with Dyna Jump, and Dyna Jump can be a game-breaking star power if you know how to use it, especially against close-range brawlers, but Demolition is going to provide more value the majority of the time. For Bo, it's actually going to kind of depend on how high you are in trophies. If you're at like the 700 plus trophy mark, people are going to be getting rid of those mines very easily, which means that Snare Bear is basically useless, and Circling Eagle is the one that you're going to want to be playing as well. And also to say that Circling Eagle is amazing on some maps with lots of bush on it, but Snare Bear for most people I think is going to be the star power of choice, with of course that caveat that Circling Eagle is great to have eventually. Tick's kind of an interesting one, okay? Automatic reload, faster reload speed, that's really good, but the extra healing really quickly is really excellent from well-oiled star power. Well-oiled is better against other ticks because you're going to heal up and be able to stay alive better, but automatic reload is better the majority of the other time. So automatic reload is the one that I would recommend getting. For 8-bit, we got to choose between Boosted Booster and Extra Life. Extra Life is better in Showdown, solo or duo showdown. Boosted Booster is better everywhere else, and honestly both of the star powers are kind of to the point where neither of them are like really amazing, but Boosted Booster is going to be the one I'm going to recommend. For M's, we've got Bad Karma and Hype. Hype just is not very good. It does not provide nearly as much value as some other healing star powers do, because it does require enemies to actually be inside the super for her to heal a lot. So the majority of the time, bad karma is going to be better because that increased damage is just, it's a lot of extra damage. For El Primo, we've got El Fuego, which deals additional damage when it hits an enemy target, or Meteor Rush, where he gets that extra speed boost after he lands his super. There are situations when El Fuego can be really good, but I think Meteor Rush is the better star power overall for El Primo. For Barley, medical use is going to be the better star power if you're having a difficult time pushing trophies with Barley. If you're not worried about skill level with Barley, then Extra Noxious is going to be the star power to use majority of the time. As such, I go with Extra Noxious most of the time, and that's the one that I would choose. For Poco, you got Screeching Solo, which deals extra damage, or Da Capo, which heals your teammates for 700 health per attack. Da Capo, despite its nerf, is definitely the better star power for sure. It is so incredibly good and allows Poco to become incredibly dominant when paired up with the right brawlers. Screeching Solo is basically for when you're playing solo showdown and you can't heal anybody else. For Rosa, we got Plant Life, which heals when you're in the bush, or Thorny Gloves, which deals extra damage when she is using her super. Thorny Gloves is useful on maps when you do not have a lot of bush to help heal you up, and Plant Life is useful the majority of the time. It's the one that I would go with. For Rico, we got Super Bouncy or Robo Retreat. Here's the deal. Super Bouncy is able to provide an insane amount of value if you are a top tier Rico. Rico is one of my favorite brawlers to play, and I consider myself to be really good with him. And I still prefer Robo Retreat because you get to run away in those situations when it's just really, really clutch, and that additional speed can be really beneficial in a lot of situations as well. A really great star power. Daryl Still Hoops recently got nerfed, then buffed, and it's still not very good. I'm going with rolling reload on this one, for at least for right now. 5 seconds for double reload speed can be insane. For Penny, Last Blast is used when people aren't paying attention, but otherwise, Balls of Fire is going to do such a better job at controlling the field. I'm not saying that this isn't good, but it doesn't provide value nearly as much as Balls of Fire does. This is a tough call. Protective Pirouette used to be one of the best star powers in the game, but then it got a nerf, and back when it was originally this percentage, 30% shielding, it was not a very good star power. And now that it's back there, I think people are still using this, and I think that's okay, but I think that Power Throw is going to be the better star power overall for Carl. When Snappy Sniping was originally released, it was insanely overpowered, but now we have Ambush, which increases the damage when you're hiding in a bush, and that just encourages really skilled gameplay and allows you to provide so much value with one shot. And unless a map doesn't have good sniping positions with bushes, I think Ambush is the star power the majority of the time, so I would recommend Ambush. For Pam, we got Mama's Hug and Mama's Squeeze. I do like Mama's Squeeze, especially because people just don't expect it and they just don't feel like they need to avoid her turret healing area, and so it can provide value sometimes, but I think that Mama's Hug provides more value a majority of the time, especially when you are playing with a teammate that is a little bit tankier. You can just kind of help heal them up a little bit. Frank's kind of a tough one. We got Power Grab versus Sponge. Sponge is good if you are using it in a situation where Frank is a lot less likely to actually deal damage. He's less likely to hit people. However, if you're playing a game mode or a map where you're likely to get kills, Power Grab is insane because 12 seconds of 50% additional damage is just going, it shreds through people. So Power Grab is the star power of choice for Frank. BB, we got Home Run versus Batting Stance. A lot of people really like Batting Stance, and I like it too. However, I find that Home Run is just better a lot. It makes her more fun to play and kind of overcomes her weakness of accidentally hitting people further away when she actually hits them a little bit. Honestly though, it could go either way for her. I'm even gonna go with Home Run though. B is an interesting one. Honeycoat used to be one of the best star powers in the game, but it got some pretty heavy nerfs. It is still good in solo and duo showdown, but I think Insta B load is the better star power for her overall now. Okay, so for Mortis, we got Creepy Harvest, which is insanely good in the hands of the right player, and Coiled Snake, which is insanely good in the hands of every player. So yeah, Creepy Harvest is great. Coiled Snake is better all the time. So yeah, I'm going Coiled Snake for sure. And if you're struggling to push Mortis, this is actually an excellent star power for you to get just to make it so much easier to push him in the first place. Okay, Tara, Black Portal, which is offense, versus Healing Shade, which is defense. Healing Shade is so much better, provides so much value. Absolutely go with Healing Shade. Like 90% of the time, it's just so good. Okay, for Jean, we got Magic Puffs, which I consider to be a bad star power, which encourages bad gameplay, except for the situation of duo showdown where it's very good for you to kind of stay close to your teammate. Spirit Slap deals so much damage and encourages you to play Gene the way that he's meant to be played. And so I absolutely recommend going with the Spirit Slap star power for Gene. Okay, we got Max with Supercharge, which does increase her chance of charging up her super, and that's good. Her super doesn't provide a ton of value, and so I recommend actually doing Run and Gun. Run and Gun increases the ability to shoot off so many shots so quickly. It insanely increases the DPS. It's such a good star power right now. Okay, so for Mr. P, we got Tin Can. That's a lot of additional health. It can be used in some situations, but Handle with Care is absolutely the better star power of the two. Tin Can is very niche. Handle with Care, better all the time. Okay, Spike. I actually liked Fertilize more than I liked Curveball back when Curveball was really excellent. Then it got a nerf, Curveball became less viable, and Fertilize was still already amazing. I absolutely think you should go with Fertilize. Even if you feel like Curveball helps you hit attacks more often, I just think Fertilize is just so much better all the time. Okay, Crow. This is one where people are going to disagree with me, but I am telling you, while carrying Crow is really good and it's kind of fancy and flashy and really cool, Extra Toxic is best. Like 90% of the time, Extra Toxic is so good. 20% less damage being taken for you and your entire team is insane. It's so good. I need to do a video on the math of this. This star power is insane. Okay, for Leon, we got Smoke Trails, which increases that movement speed, but Invisi-Heal heals 1,000 health per second for up to 6 seconds. Are you kidding me? This star power is so good. I like Smoke Trails. It's more flashy, it's more fun. If you can learn how to use Invisi-Heal the right way, Leon becomes an absolute monster, and I love this star power. 6,000 HP healed in 6 seconds. That's crazy. Finally, we got Sandy, okay? Healing Winds, which heals almost double what Rude Sands deals damage of, right? Okay, I'm still, while I like Healing Winds, it's not very much burst healing, and it does help, but it does not provide nearly as much a control as Rude Sands does. Being able to just like plop that down, people being unable to heal while they're in that area just allows you and your team to just dominate the center on a lot of maps and situations where controlling the center is really important. So absolutely Rude Sands. And that's every star power for every single brawler and which one I think is the best one to go for each of them. So you guys should let me know if there's any that you disagree with, and if you agree with what somebody else has suggested, feel free to like it as well so other people can see it. I obviously want your guys' feedback to be appreciated within the community, and that's why I make this video, is to help you guys with coming out with the best star powers. So let me know. But honestly, I think this is a really solid list of star powers and which ones you guys should focus on getting, or just which ones you should focus on using majority of the time. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know. Like it, comment, subscribe. We are so close to 400,000 subscribers. In fact, by the time this video is released, we might already have passed there. So that's really exciting, and I'm overwhelmed with how awesome you guys are. Thank you so much for your support. For now, guys, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in Brawl Stars.